So please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
More like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here? Is this is this really happening? You met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Luther Arnold. Okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go outplace everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go, we head to Kroger's and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
how do you do it? Teach me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you gotta get the smile going on some shoots, but.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time,
with
when,
you.
when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try this
you gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Yes. What's up, everybody? Let me adjust this camera real quick. How y'all doing? Hope you guys are doing well out there. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday, y'all. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a very informative and very fun-filled day today of all kinds of news. Like I said, like I always keep saying, I don't know why. I do not know why I keep saying this, but it's true. There's so much stuff to talk about today. Like, I don't even know where to begin, y'all. There is so much news, so many things that we have not gotten a chance to really talk about and all that. So we got to jump right into it. But of course, you know, I got to say what up to my boy, Tommy Boy in the house. What is good, my brother?
Hey, how you doing? We got a hump day here. It's hump day.
It is hump day. It is hump day.
Yes.
I think, honestly, I think that's the most positive response I've gotten from you in probably the entire time that we've ever had this show, my brother. Like, damn, you know? Thank God.
I am not, you know, we do this show at 9 in the morning, and I am not by nature a morning person. My day almost begins more at 9 p.m. than at 9 a.m.
I feel you. I totally feel you, man. You know. Actually, not really. I used to be that way. I used to be that way, but not anymore so much. Now I'm just, man. Now I'm just an early bird. You know what I mean? I'm always up early in the morning, that kind of thing. Doesn't matter how many hours I get of sleep the night before. For some odd reason, I'm always up no matter what. 7:30, I'm up.
Oh God.
No, it's
Even
terrible.
on the weekend?
Even on the weekend, bruh. It's terrible. It's terrible. Trust me. There are days that I would love to have, like those days where you get to just sleep, you know, that deep sleep, and you get to sleep until noon type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got no kids. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no kids. I should be able to enjoy sleeping in till noon, at least for now, until that day when I've, you know, graced the planet with my seed. But at the same time, yeah, 7:30, I'm up.
Ugh.
It's tough. It's really tough. I don't wish it on anybody. Trust and believe. But yes, I'm happy that you're happy. Today is hump day, so it's only 2 more days till what? The weekend, y'all. So I'm very excited about that. Mr. Super said, up early means you're getting old. How funny. How funny is that? It looks like I lost Tom here for some weird, strange reason. Hold on. I'm going to try to get him back on. But anyway, before we get all the way started, man, but that's true, though. Let me see. Hopefully I got him back. Or not. Let me see if I can try to get him. That's weird. Suddenly I just lost. Suddenly I lost you. Suddenly I lost you randomly. That was weird as hell.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if that was a glitch on my end or what.
It might have been both.
You just kind of went dead on here.
Hey, bro, it might have been both. You know what I'm saying? These things happen. You know what I mean? Tano Vane, good morning. Hello. Let's see. What else? James, good morning. Everybody on Facebook, good morning. Everybody who's watching on Twitch, good morning. Hope you guys are doing all great and dandy. Anyway, we got to get into some conversations because there's a lot to talk about. One of the main things, let me start getting this stuff. Like, one of the things I want to talk about, and it is on one of our top news stories. We got to talk real quick about the NYPD and the union boss's address. And Tom, do you have a little bit of that information, eh?
Give me just a moment.
Oh, no
here.
worries, man. Take your time. I'm actually trying to pull up the actual video because I do have a clip from the actual cop, from the union boss himself. So we're going to be talking about that as well. Dag nabbit.
Yeah, do you have the article there?
I do not have the article, but I can in a second. Let's see. So, okay, so New York police union boss, Mike O'Meara, had a chance to have a press conference yesterday morning, and he had a lot to say in regards to how the public and the media are looking and what their perspective of what the NYPD is like. So we have a little bit of a video. I'm going to throw this up really quick because
of our profession, 375.
Okay, hold on, guys. I got it here. We're going to pull it up. Here it is. So he's basically unloading in this particular area, in this particular part. Actually, his whole speech was very heated, very angry. He was upset, rightfully so, I guess. So we're going to throw this on and have you guys check it out. Here it is.
This isn't stained by someone in Minneapolis. It's still got a shine on it. And so do theirs. So do theirs. Stop treating us like animals and thugs, and start treating us with some respect. That's what we're here today to say. We've been left out of the conversation. We've been vilified. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Trying to make us embarrassed of our profession. 375 million interactions. Overwhelmingly positive. Nobody talks about all the police officers that were killed in the last week in the United States of America, and there were a number of them. We don't condone Minneapolis. We roundly reject what he did as disgusting. It's disgusting. It's not what we do. It's not what police officers do. Our legislators abandoned us. The press is vilifying us. Well, you know what, guys? I'm proud to be a cop. And I'm going to continue to be proud to be a cop until the day I retire. And that's all I have to say.
Well, there you have it. The man, the myth, the union, the NYPD union boss definitely had to say something. And Mike O'Meara definitely had a few words to say about this thing, man. Tom, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm glad to hear that he says that they don't condone what happened in Minneapolis. You know, I'm seeing where he's called what happened to George Floyd in Minneapolis murder. And I can get where he's coming from as a cop. It's obviously not an easy time, I'm sure, in America to be a cop. A lot of stuff being said about cops, some of it rightfully so, maybe some of it a little under the belt. I will say, you know, from a PR standpoint, I don't know how that works, you know, going out and saying, you know, I mean, he's not wrong. I wonder tonally if that's going to connect with people. Because there was a lot of anger in it, a lot of finger pointing as to saying, you know, you're trying to paint us like the people, like the cops in Minneapolis. I can get that he's angry. I just worry are more angry cops on TV what America wants to see right now. I mean, even if his anger is righteous, I mean, maybe that was a conversation that could have been had behind closed doors with members of the police union as opposed to the press, especially, you know, on the same day that George Floyd is being buried. Or, you know, I'm not sure if that was yesterday or, you know, I'm not sure when he gave this speech, but, I mean, I agree, you know, good cops shouldn't be tarnished because of what happened in Minneapolis, but, you know, what's happened, I mean, there's so many other things that have been happening now between Buffalo and then that police union guy down in Brevard County, Florida, saying he wanted to hire all police that had been fired for misconduct. But I can get if he feels he's running a clean organization there with NYPD, and I guess that's up for debate whether or not, you know, how clean the NYPD is. But if he feels like he's running a clean operation up there in New York, I could see where he'd be upset that people are saying, you know, you guys are just a bunch of murderers like the people that killed George Floyd. But you know what? I don't know. I don't know about the greater part of his speech, but I was glad to hear him say that he does not agree with what happened to George Floyd, and I was glad to hear that he called that murder. So, not knowing much more about it than that, I'll just leave it there.
Yeah. Okay. So I think there's a couple things to put into consideration. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is it's not what you say, it's how you say it. At the end of the day, especially when, you know, there's a lot of people out here on nerve, you know, very sensitive, a very sensitive nerve going out on right now. I see what he was trying to say in regards to his rant. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of it's going to go over a lot of people's heads because they're just seeing him angry and screaming instead of being, you know, a little bit more controlled. You know, it felt like he was really like, and another thing. Because even when he got done with his speech and he's like, and I'm done, he walks away and he comes back to the microphone like he ain't done. Like he's in a fight with, you know, like he's in a very passionate fight with, you know, a family member or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I understand that he has to defend his boys. And it's great that he had his boys behind him. There was only one black cop back there, by the way. I was looking at it. Trust me, I was watching. I'm like, where are the black faces? Because I want to see black NYPD. I want to see, or at least black and brown. I'm like, where are the black and brown? I only saw one black cop way in the back. You know?
Yeah, well, there just aren't very many African Americans in New York City. I mean, you've lived there. They're, you know, few and far between.
Yeah, right. And here's the thing. New York is a very passionate place. You know, they're like, I'm walking here every time, you know, that kind of thing. New York is New York. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, you know, I know that he was sitting there going, hey, we are being vilified. We are being looked at as animals and thugs. But wait a second. You guys do the same thing to the people that you're trying to arrest. You treat them and look at them as animals and thugs. And when you stop doing that, and you start looking at us, at the people that you're about to arrest as not that, maybe we can actually have a conversation. So you might be feeling what the black community feels whenever a cop pulls up to a black person. Instantly, they are vilified. Instantly, they are being treated as an animal or thug. So when you start saying those things, it's kind of like maybe you're finally seeing what it feels like to wear the other shoe. You know, now you know what it feels like, or now you're starting to see what it feels like to be on the other side of the fence. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the end of the story, you know? But I would definitely love to hear what you guys think. Definitely comment down below. I know that the comments are already ablazing down in the comments section. So definitely comment down below and let us know what you think about that. To me, I totally see his point. I get it. But at the same time, now you kind of get an idea of what it's like to be black and getting pulled over, instantly looked at as a criminal, instantly looked at as someone who probably has drugs on him, probably has a police record, you know, he probably has a few warrants out, so on and so forth. And that stuff is unfair. So that unfairness that you're feeling is exactly what the black community feels every single day. Anyway, let's read some of these. Okay, Jenny Narado on Facebook. Thank you so much for commenting on Facebook. She says, okay, so then the next time we have a teacher that is sexually involved with a student or abuses a student, let's defund the American teachers. She says another question, and this is a second comment. She said, do you think the teachers union should send an angry response? That's, here it is. That is a very that's a very interesting question. But at the same time, I don't know how to answer that one. I think, okay, so I'll say this. There's a lot of yes, there are stories about teachers, having sexual abuse allegations and having relations of that sort, but it's not at the same level as what the NYPD, what the cops are doing out there in the streets with all people, not just black, with just all people that they're trying to arrest and all that. So when it comes to the teacher, when it comes to a teacher having an angry response, or, a teacher, a member of the teachers union having an angry response, I think still that's a really bad look at the end of the day. It's a really, like I said, it's still a really bad look. So when you have, like we just said a second ago, when you have homeboy in front of, O'Meara in front of the microphones, screaming at the media, screaming at the general public, when right now the entire general public, for the most part, are behind the whole Black Lives Matter movement, for the most part. You got people who are agitated right now. The last thing you want to do is keep poking that bear. My personal opinion, you want to come up and go, hey, okay, so here it is. No. You're only vilifying yourself even more by approaching the situation as such, by screaming and yelling and all that. No one's going to listen to what you're saying. Doesn't even matter if you're sitting there saying, here's how to be a millionaire. Everyone's just too busy looking at the fact that your face is all scrunched up and red and angry, and they're thinking about the delivery rather than the words. So even, so that's Jenny, that's a very good question. Thank you so much for asking that on Facebook.
Well, hang on.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just thinking, with teachers that, sexually abuse their students, it's not like the Teachers Association, Teachers Union comes out and says, oh, no. This is wrong. This is a lie. It's not like It's not like the Teachers Union or administration comes to their defense every time. If you remember, this George Floyd stuff started, I mean, how many half-truths and untruths were told before the video was out? You know, they said he died of medical distress. They said he died, you know, in the ambulance or at the hospital or whatever.
Yeah.
Clearly he died at the scene. You don't have teachers administrations and teachers unions coming out and saying, well, hang on, not all teachers are out there raping their kids. You know, the rush for police and police unions to defend these cops, I think you're not going to find teachers out there that defend teachers that have inappropriate relationships with students. You find a lot of cops out there that are defending questionable tactics used against people of color in this country.
There you go. Yeah.
So,
and
yeah,
then you,
that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, exactly. So when you have somebody who's screaming, either one, if it's teachers union or you know the union boss of the NYPD screaming at the media, not the greatest look. It's not a good look. Regardless, not a good look. You know,
and to try and co-opt the message that you know, a lot of African Americans have been saying, you know, you don't see us as people, you see us as animals and thugs. For him to turn around and use that for police, I don't know who wrote it. They probably don't, you know, who wrote his speech. Clearly, they don't have a lot of skill or experience in public relations.
Right. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I get what you're saying. I get that you want to keep morale up with the police. Maybe you have that. Maybe you give that speech behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't give that one on camera.
That's,
you know,
that's a win this one for the Gipper type of speech. You know what I'm saying? That's the, you know, you get on the chair and you know, hey guys, and we're gonna go out there and it's all, you know, it's a game of inches. It's a game of inches. You know, some Al Pacino Friday. No. Any given Sunday.
Any Sunday, yeah.
No, any given Sunday, yeah. You know, it's a game of inches. You know, you just crawl and you grab the ball and you run over to the, hey buddy, just throw the ball to me at the third Buick. You know, mama's ringing the dinner bell. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, full on any given Sunday action there. Sorry, but here it is. Yes, it's really that kind of speech, that kind of fiery, passionate speech should definitely be done behind, you know, with your team, with your people, that kind of thing, with your squad. But right there in front of everybody, like I said, I understand the intent. I understand, like James just said a second ago, intent is what counts. It's what is in the heart. Now, and I agree with that. I agree that he probably was he's obviously very passionate. But there's a time and place for everything. You can still speak passionately without actually going into a angry rant. And that's what it seemed like, you know? He's walking back and forth and he's, you know, and I get it. Like I said, I get the intent. It's just how it's delivered, you know? Long story short. And, you know, and that's not the delivery you want to have right now at this moment in this juncture. Not right now. But Tanu Vane, really quick, they just asked a question. Tanu Vane just asked a question. Have you ever had an interaction? Have either of you had interaction with the NYPD? I can tell this story real quick. Yes, I have. Long story short, I was. I've talked about this story before. But I was walking out of my apartment complex in New York City because I lived in New York for a good long while. Went to college up there. So I was running home to get some stuff to get to class, the whole nine. I was running late. I run out of the building and to find myself staring down the barrel of a gun held by a cop. They said that there was a kid that they were looking for. Black male in a hoodie, dark jeans, and sneakers. Guess what I was wearing? Hoodie, dark jeans, sneakers. Yeah. So he instantly thought it was me. Of course, I had to show, you know, he was like, get down. You know, he's like, you know, the whole, you know, get down, MFer, and all that stuff. He was really, really aggressive. Like the dude wanted to, you know, he really wanted to put a hurting to me. But I kept trying to talk him down, basically saying, hey, man, I live here. I was just running out. They said that apparently he ran into this apartment complex that I lived in. The description very closely matched what I was wearing at that time, the whole nine. So it was a very, very interesting situation. Long story short, I was able to show and prove that I lived there, the whole nine. After a few minutes, they finally let me go. But I was detained by them for a good while, where they were just asking me millions and millions of questions. They searched my bag. They went through all my stuff. You know, I'm sitting there going, I have no weapons. I have no nothing. I didn't do anything. I live in this building. Finally showing them proof that I lived there, my ID and all that stuff. So that was my experience with the NYPD. It wasn't very pleasant. I've dealt with the NYPD several other times before, but at the same time, never to that extent. I was in New York when 9/11 happened, was one of the people that experienced it firsthand. And it was night and day. When I ran into the police then, it was a completely different vibe. Everybody was working together. There was no black and white. There were no racial lines. Everybody was working together. Everybody was trying to get past such a horrific and terrible experience, you know? So it was two completely different worlds that I experienced, you know? And yeah, there are a lot of jerk cops out there. A lot of cops are a-holes, real talk. But there are a lot of good ones out there too. So I've seen some bad ones and I've seen some good ones, you know? But unfortunately, I've seen a lot more bad than I've seen good in my lifetime, you know? So NYPD, you know, like I said, there's only a few times that I've seen NYPD be like what they're saying that the NYPD is like, you know? But then, you know, I've seen other things where people have been really on top of things and really respectful. So, yeah, it's just, I guess, you know, after some time when you get pulled over 15 times over because of, you know, driving while black or getting, you know, a gun pulled out on you, you know, thinking that because you closely match the description, after some time, they all kind of blend. After some time, everything just kind of blends because you're just so used to it. You're used to seeing that thing all the time, which is a sad thing, which is something that I never should be saying. I should be saying, yeah, that time was so horrific and I don't ever want that to ever happen again. No, it's happened other times before for me. You see what I'm saying? I just happen to be one of the lucky people that can live to be in front of this microphone telling this story to all of you. There's a lot of guys out there that aren't as lucky. Anyway, moving on to the next conversation. Good morning, Chris LaRose. What's up, my brother?
Hey.
You know, I appreciate, man, I'm trying to get into this. This thing is not wanting to be my friend. I keep scooting over and over and over. Okay, so moving on to the next topic, because, you know, there's a lot of things that we need to talk about today. You know what? I'm going to throw this one over to Tom. What else do you want to go into right now?
Well, I mean, there was a funeral yesterday for George Floyd.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. It was very beautiful.
Yes.
From the little bit that I saw. I didn't get to see the whole thing. I was busy running around, but I got to see a lot of highlights on YouTube, and you know, I had it running on the TV throughout the morning, so I was able to see it in passing and everything. And yeah, it's some really beautiful stuff, you know. Yeah, some really, really beautiful stuff. Real talk.
Yeah. Hope his family can start to heal a little bit. And yeah, it was a beautiful ceremony, and you know, not unlike Ahmaud Arbery's funeral. You know, there were celebrities there: Jamie Foxx, Channing Tatum, J.J. Watt, Trey the Truth, Representative Sheila Jackson, Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo, Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner. You know, it's clear that, you know, these funerals are for the community, you know, are to celebrate the man, but also to bring healing to the community.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. It's a moment of healing. Joe Biden, he had a video that, you know, it was played at the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I know a lot of you have questions that no child should have to ask, questions that too many black children have had to ask for generations. You know, why is daddy gone?" He says, "Now is the time for racial justice. That's the answer we must give to our children when they ask why."
Yeah. Yeah.
So a heavy day yesterday. Hopefully now, you know, now there can be some healing and some justice and some changes.
Yeah.
So this kind of incident doesn't keep happening over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know, I'm really hoping, like, real talk, I'm really hoping that there's a time when we actually start seeing that this is a thing of the past. We still remember those people that have died. We still honor those people that have passed, but at the same time, that we don't have these stories anymore. You know, that it's not by the hands of police. You know, it's not by the hands of the people that are supposed to protect and serve their said community. You know, and I'm waiting for that moment. I'm really waiting to see what really happens. You know what I mean? It's just, like I said, it's a frustrating time. Yeah. You know, and the only thing we can do is we got to go through this awkward period, you know, so that we can actually fully get through what we need to, you know, figure out what we need to figure out so we can get moving again. So we can actually get things so that life can begin again in a way, you know, so that we all can have a better life. Yeah. All of us, you know. So let's go into this other thing. So this is a little small story, but not a small story, but it's a small topic. So we're going to talk about it really quick. Voter suppression in Atlanta, Georgia. Did you hear about this, Tom?
I did. Not the first time Georgia has been accused of voter suppression.
Really? But, I didn't know that. I thought this was the first time ever.
The whole Stacey Abrams, you know, when she lost, there were to the current governor, Bryant Kemp. There are a lot of questions surrounding that election between Bryant Kemp and Stacey Abrams as to if there was voter suppression, which some people say there definitely was. But you know, yesterday Georgia had their primary for the Republican and Democratic candidates, and it did not go well. There were hours-long waits. Most of the machines, it sounds like, weren't working. Yeah. People were being turned away from polling places. I mean, and there's all kinds of finger pointing going on. There are people blaming the Republican state administration, Governor Kemp. There are people blaming local officials in these places. Mm-hmm. This is the most fundamental part of our entire society is free and open elections, and they can't get that right. I mean, I realize, you know, a lot of the excuse for this is coming down to, you know, the problems with coronavirus, not having enough people to staff polling stations. Okay, but we've had a while to get this right. People should be able to vote, and it shouldn't take hours for them to vote, and they shouldn't be turned away from voting, and the voting machines should work. And a lot of the local officials that are taking the blame from the Republican state administration are saying that they weren't properly staffed, at the local level by the state officials. They weren't properly trained on how to use the equipment. But if this isn't cleared up by November and people aren't able to vote in the general election,
exactly,
it's going to be you think you see burning cities now.
Homie, I'm scared. I'm terrified. No, real talk. Yeah, you're right when you say, hey, you think that we're only going to have a few burning buildings? We're going to have a whole lot of burning buildings. I'm telling you right now, if they don't get the absentee ballots on point, if they, like the mail-in voting things on point, if we start seeing other, I've been using a lot of air quotes lately, but I'm going to do it again, issues. If they start seeing more issues like this happen all over the country, God's trying to tell you something. Something's not right. Still, no matter what's going on right now is not right. Something's not right. They want to jack this thing up because they know for a fact that right now, obviously, everybody, there's an uprising. There is a frustration. Everyone's blood is boiling right now, and there's a lot of people that disapprove of Trump right now. Shoot, there's Republicans that are starting to lean a little bit more to the blue right now. Starting to turn a little purple right now. Why? Because they cannot stand what's going on in the White House right now and what's going on in the country. So they suppress they do voter suppression for what reason? They do voter suppression for what reason in one spot that is predominantly a black community? When you know for a fact that everybody there is sitting there going, man, we about to vote everybody out, man. We about to get this stuff done. Why do you think they went and did that? Especially in a predominantly black area, predominantly black community. Think about it, y'all. And then the other thing is that there is other places that people had to drive an hour outside of their way just to go and vote. Because there was other places that were working just fine, except places that weren't working, except places in the black communities that were not working. That's not right. That's truly jacked up. That's truly jacked up. Somebody just commented on here. Hold on, I'm looking for it real quick. Hold that thought. Queen, good morning, my queen. Queen Empress said on YouTube, yes, voter suppression, long lines, broken machines. I finally, after 3 hours, cast my Trump eviction vote. Real talk. But that's the thing. Long lines, broken machines. Some people had to leave the comfort of their own areas to go find a place so that they could go vote. Now, as much as they could sit here and say that, because a lot of Republicans will sit there and say, all this upheaval and all this BS that's happening right now is happening specifically because it's voting season, it's election season, it's time to blah blah blah. The Democrats are pushing this type of agenda so that they can get what they want when it comes to election season. If that's the freaking case, you doing voter suppression does not make y'all look any better. So, voter suppression, not a good idea, Republicans. If you're trying to make it seem like it's all, like this whole thing is a ploy to get us Democrats, it's like Democrats trying to get the more of the black vote during this time, if that's the case, you're not making your side look any better. Real talk.
Yeah. And a lot of Republican officials, including Trump, have just kind of given away the game at this point. But it's like, oh yeah, if we do mail-in balloting, a Republican president will never be elected again. It's like, yeah, you just said the quiet part out loud.
Right.
You can't just say, hey, we don't want people to vote because then we won't be able to win. I mean, I think it was Enemy Nation yesterday that was asking me how I feel okay speaking on systemic racism. It's because it's right in front of my damn face.
Bang.
We got the president of the United States saying we can't let people vote or we'll lose. Well, what the hell else would you call that?
Yeah, just like the NYPD union boss. Isn't that a conversation he should be having behind closed doors and not out in public? Just a thought. Just a thought. Right. So voter suppression. It's actually happening, and this is not the first time it's happened, apparently. I didn't know that. I thought it was the first time in Atlanta. I've heard about it before, but I didn't know it was happening. That's not the first time that has happened in Atlanta, which is messed up and unfair and ridiculous. But I'm saying this to everybody who's out there wanting to vote and make a change, because it's all about our votes and who we elect in all the other houses and all the other brackets and branches as well. Man, if you got the gas and if you got the time, shoot, put on a podcast, get in your car, and drive that extra hour and sit in that line, okay? Go get you a nice sweet tea, you know what I'm saying? A jumbo-sized sweet tea with a big gulp or something like that. Sit in that line, put on some sunglasses and a baseball cap, enjoy some of that sun, and get your vote in by any means necessary. I don't give a damn about what they're trying to do and trying to mess with us, man. You get it done, y'all. You go and you get it done. Even if you have to go to the whitest, craziest suburban areas with all Karens walking around staring at you looking funny, I don't give a damn. If you got to put on a sign saying, I'm here to vote, leave me alone, shoot, wear it. By any means necessary, our votes count. Our votes matter this time. Let us get this guy out. Let's go. Do not use that voter suppression as an excuse. Find another place to go. Trust. Make it a field trip. Everybody chip in on some gas. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Make it, do the trip. Just go. Because that should not be happening. Real talk, that should not be happening. No. That should not be happening, yo. It's breaking my heart. Because then that's the thing. People will find excuses. Oh, well, it's not convenient. It's not conveniently in front of me. So I guess I'm just going to vote another time. 2 years later, get out and vote now. Right now. Whew. Anyway. Sorry, I just had to say that. Maybe that was a conversation I should have said behind closed doors with my team. Just saying. I'm saying it with intent and heart. I want us, our people, all of our people to prevail. Real talk. And voter suppression is BS. Anyway, moving on to something completely different. We're going to do a quick left turn, something a little bit more lighthearted. So Bill and Ted's, some entertainment news. Bill and Ted's trailer just dropped yesterday, if I'm correct. Yesterday morning?
Yeah.
And it's out there. Bill and Ted's, what is the title of the movie again? Bill and Ted's?
It's Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Bill and Ted Face the Music. It's the third installment of the Bill and Ted's franchise, I guess you can call it a franchise. It's been, 30 years since the last movie that they did, since the Bogus Journey movie. So It's quite a big jump. We find Bill and Ted, obviously they're adults now, but they still have not made the song yet. They still have not made the song that's supposed to bring universal unity, that's supposed to bring everybody together in harmony, bring harmony to the world, bring world peace. And so they decide, or at least in this trailer, they decide that it might be a good idea to go into the future where they do make the song and try to steal the song from themselves, from their future selves. And I got a chance to see the trailer. So did Tom. So Tom, what did you think on it, man?
I thought it was good. They didn't give too much away. It still makes me want to see it. It is a little bit sad we don't get to see George Carlin in this. Of course, he's passed on. But I'm excited about this because it's not just Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter coming back as Bill and Ted, but it's the original writers that wrote the original Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and also wrote Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. The director of it directed Galaxy Quest, which has a very impassioned cult following. So I have high hopes for this one. I think it's going to feel like a Bill and Ted movie because it's the original writers, the original cast. I'm optimistic, and I for as far as comedy sequels go, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey was funny as hell. I thought it stood up to the original.
I thought it sucked. So,
all right.
No, it's okay. Here it is. Like, no offense, not throwing any shade to anybody or anything like that. If you enjoyed Bogus Journey, by all means, enjoy Bogus Journey. But for me, it was just not enjoyable. And the thing is I remember it as a kid. And as a kid, if I was like, meh, obviously, I didn't like it. The first one, I thought was great. It was a great time. Like, that was a hell of a ride. So I'm hoping that this third one is good. But from the trailers, it looks kind of sappy. To me, it does. And yes, it's, lately there's been a whole thing of the nostalgia thing, the nostalgia shows coming back and being revamped, like Fuller House, so on and so forth. But at the same time, for me, it's like, can you catch lightning in a bottle 30 years later? Can you? With a movie like this? Now, don't get me wrong. I love me some Keanu. I've grown to love him. I've grown to love him. And this movie, Bill and Ted, was the movie that put his name out there on the map, to make him be a huge star, make him be who he is, make him Keanu Reeves. But at the same time, the movie was just kind of, I don't know, a little lackluster to me. I mean, the second one. So when I saw the trailer for this third one, I was kind of like, ooh, this does not look good. Just to me, it just did not. It did not make me go, yeah, man, I cannot wait. I was kind of like, this is going to be cheesy as hell. This might not be as funny as everybody thinks it's going to be. Or they're trying to capture the comedy that they captured 30 years ago. And comedy is completely different from what it is now. Comedy then is completely different from what it is now. So I don't know.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely.
It comes out August 21st comes out.
In the theaters?
Theoretically, that's the plan so far.
Okay. Well, that's going to be dope. And for a fact, I'm going to be one of the guys out there, first people in line going to seeing it. Why? Because I want to see if it sucks. Yeah. And I'll tell you right here on the show live if it's good or not. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm sitting there going to watch the movie just like cynical, eating my popcorn and Twizzlers. Nah. I'm in there to enjoy it. But the trailer sucks. Anyway.
Well, I disagree. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I know. You are going, oh, it's great. Woo! You know what I mean? I get it. I totally get it. Just for me, just yeah.
I want to talk. Hang on now. Bogus Journey. You didn't like Death. You didn't like William Sadler as Death.
He was okay.
Where they're playing Battleship and he keeps trying to make it 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
5.
No.
There's a lot of good stuff.
There's some funny stuff. You know what I mean? It's funny. Like there were some moments that were good, but for me, I think it was just very, it just was a very dark version. Yeah. Like, this first one was really light and bright and fun. And then the second one was about death. Yeah. Like they're running around with death and stuff. And then I just felt like it was very dark. So it was in comparison to the two movies, that was a very dark comedy in comparison to the first one. And the first one was just, fun, light, stupid as hell. The second one was pretty heavy in that way. And
a bit of trivia for you here. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey was originally titled Bill and Ted Go to Hell. But the studio didn't think people would take their kids to go see a movie called Bill and Ted Go to Hell.
Exactly.
So they changed it up.
Exactly. And so, yeah. So that's what I think. You know what I mean? Somebody just said, somebody was referencing Back to the Future. Tanu Vane said, I hope it's good. I always wanted to steal music from the future and get rich off of it. Funny face. It's kind of like Back to the Future 3. It's true. That and I guess Tanu Vane was talking about that, what you were just talking about, the battleship. That was a great scene. I think a lot of it was a reference to Seventh Seal.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm interested to see it. it still sparks my interest, but in a way, I don't know. You know, I understand they're supposed to be old guys, but when was the last time homeboy, who the other guy, what's his name?
Alex Winter.
Alex Winter, exactly. What's his name? I'm wondering. No offense, I know he became a playwright and all this stuff. He was, you know, he did other things. Like he moved on and he's lived his life. He's obviously alive still. But I'm just interested to see how he's going to handle everything, given the fact that, I mean, he really hasn't. Keanu Reeves is John Wick and Neo. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Alex Winter. See what I'm saying? So I'm wondering how he's going to handle it.
Well, I mean, I think he's stayed busy. I mean, we haven't necessarily seen him in a lot of stuff, but you know, if you look at his IMDb, he's got some directing credits going on there. He's got a few acting credits.
Yeah, Lost Boys, 30 years ago. Thou shalt not run. You know what I mean? You know, he's a little bit of a, you know, it's a throwback. It's a throwback man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it doesn't mean that you lose your acting chops if you haven't done it in 30 years. I'm not saying, I'm just sitting here saying it's Keanu Reeves and you know, it's Bill and Ted. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. That's all I'm going to say. It'll be interesting.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. But we'll see. I mean, it might come out in August, and I might be saying, you know what, Pascal, you're right. That thing was terrible.
Yeah, and that's going to be fine.
I hope it's good.
And I embrace the fact that if I'm right, I embrace it wholeheartedly. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, we're going to go to a very quick commercial break. We'll be right back. The next thing we're going to be talking about is Nancy Pelosi pandering to black voters by kneeling and wearing a kente cloth. Holy God. We're going to be talking about that very shortly. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Sex, money, power, respect. All of us have in this community. All the good people different to me.
Take up in glass.
The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their self because their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. We wasn't feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degrading for people that's constantly hated.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. I mean, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, and we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now. Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're gonna perform
I'm sorry,
tonight.
I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Hey, y'all, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And like I always say, if this is your first time checking out this show, please go hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. That would really, really mean a lot. And also hit that like button down below underneath this feed if you're enjoying the conversation and enjoying the show thus far. Well, we got to go into this next conversation because Nancy Pelosi, oh, gosh, man. Nancy Pelosi, you know, like, there's so much I want to say, Tom. There's so much I want to say right now. Oh, boy. Okay, so Nancy Pelosi is pandering black voters by wearing a kente cloth and kneeling. And Tom, just go.
Okay, well,
oh my
on Monday, Democratic congressional leaders came together in Emancipation Hall in the U.S. Capitol to kneel together in support of the fight for racial justice. They were announcing their proposed bill for federal police reform legislation. But what caught the eye of most people was that the largely white Democratic delegation that went to kneel were wearing kente cloths, which, you know, for those of you who don't know what a kente cloth is, it's an artisanal product. It holds social, sacred, and historical meaning to the I have never said this word before. The Akon people.
Tom,
with the threads of gold, green, blue, red, and black, each symbolizing a different set of values, such as serenity, fertility, renewal, and spiritual awareness.
Tom just Googled it, just so you guys know. But yes,
it's even worse. I'm reading a Forbes article about a kente cloth.
Oh God. Okay. But yes. In a very formal Forbes matter, yes, Forbes kente cloth. Yes.
Yeah, you know, Steve Forbes. He's a big fan of kente cloths.
Oh, all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Speaks Swahili fluently and everything. But anyway, yes. So she was found wearing that ish live. Sorry, I'm trying to get the video. But continue, Tom, because this is nuts.
Yeah, so, you know, they were going out to announce this new legislation seeking reform for police at the federal level.
Yes, and I got that.
And they were wearing these kente cloths, but a lot of people, both black and white, were somewhat taken aback by what's seen as pandering. And I definitely can see that it seems like pandering to me. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Pascal?
You know, she's definitely milking it. Yeah, I'm going to, because we have a little bit of a clip, or we have some clips of, it's a big clip, but I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play a tiny clip of it because I want you guys to get an idea of what is really going on up in this piece. Oh, have mercy. Hamburger. Here we go. I'm just gonna let you guys see this. You guys take a look at this, and we're gonna talk about it because, yeah, we need to talk about this. Here we go.
Tremendous leadership. Under the leadership of Karen Bass, many of us had the privilege last year of going to Ghana to observe the 400th anniversary of the first slaves going across the Atlantic. America really there was no United States, but going across the Atlantic. It was a horrible, the kidnapping, the purchase of those slaves, the dungeons in which they were kept, and if they survived that, to be on a slave ship, and if they survived that, to be sold into slavery. And then everything that came from that. When we were in Selma, only just in March, we saw at Brian Stevenson's, one of his museums, a beautiful display, heartbreaking display, but children, little children saying, "Mama, Mama, has anyone seen our mother?" These children separated from their mothers, the cruelty of that. And that's why when George Floyd called out for his mother, when he was subjected to that knee in the neck, it was just a continuation of some horror that has existed in our country.
Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit more here in a second, but clearly she is she's reaching for something. Clearly she is trying to, of course, connect. I get it. I get it. I get it. But why? No, this is not, this ain't gangsta. No. Tom?
Yeah, I mean.
Holy God.
I want to think her heart's in the right place.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
What she's saying is wonderful. But would you do this with any other ethnicity? I mean, if you were going out to protest, immigration border crackdown, would you go out there wearing a sombrero and like a bandolero across your chest? I mean, wait, it's just, yeah. I mean, I get that she's trying to do it to say like, hey, I hear your voice, but boy, that is some, I don't know. I don't know if other people find it endearing, but it's a little cringy for me.
We got a little bit more to watch on this particular clip because there's more. Hey.
And I graciously led them in falling over when it was over so that they could do the same thing. But here we are, the martyrdom of George Floyd.
Okay. Okay. So here's the thing. Martyrdom. No. See, I wanted to pull that clip up. Sorry. But the last thing we need to do is say that George Floyd was a martyr. Like, same thing as what Candace Owens said earlier. That's one part that I totally disagreed with her on. George Floyd was not a martyr. He did not die to save us type thing. He did not willingly put his life on the line to save the betterment of our people. He was unjustifiably murdered live in front of people. So the last thing that you want to be doing, Nancy Pelosi, all Democrats, is putting George Floyd and his name and martyr in the same sentence at the same damn time. He was a victim of racial police brutality. He is not a martyr. And when you say something like that, it sounds like you are pandering to the black community. Like you're reaching for something. I'm not done yet. I am sorry, because there's more. Holy God, there's more? Oh, God.
Gave American experience a moment of national anguish as we grieve for the Black Americans killed by police brutality. Today, this moment of national anguish is being transformed into a movement of national action as Americans from across the country peacefully protest to demand an end to injustice. Today, with the Justice in Policing Act, the Congress is standing with those fighting for justice and taking action. Let us, my colleagues, just go over some of those names of martyrdom.
Here we go.
George Floyd, Jackson Davis, Oscar Grant. So sad. Breonna Taylor, Armand Arbery, Botham Jean, Terrence Crutcher, Philandro Castle, Freddie Gray, Walter Scott.
Okay, so here's the thing. Now this is the other thing. All right, here it is. I know her intent. Today it seems like there's a theme song going on. It's about intent, but it's the delivery. First off, it's Castile. It's not Castle. Okay? This ain't a crime drama on TNT. Why do I know that? I do not know. Don't ask me. But if you're going to name the people's names, you see that moment where she looked up and she kind of like tried to ad-lib a little bit, like, oh, so sad. Because she probably saw Philando Castile's name and was like, holy God, I've never said this man's name before or this person's name before. Here it is. That's only part 3 or 4, wherever clip that was. I mean, there's more I'm going to show you guys here, but I'm going to pull up Tom here so that you guys can see his lovely face as well. But on some real stuff, guys, here it is. Here it is, real quick before we dive all the way in. Before we dive on into this, just like what our brother James said earlier in the show, we understand the intent. It's what is in the heart. We get that. But at the same time, number one, when you start saying martyrdom, when you start putting him in as a martyr, that's when people start thinking, that's when a lot of people start going, wait a second. Now it sounds like you're just trying to sound good for us to get either our vote or whatever. And second, why the hell weren't you guys doing this before? Why suddenly you guys are doing this now? Doesn't make any sense to me. Why right now? Right now, of all times. Why is it suddenly that you guys give a damn now when you should have gave a damn a while before, so that we didn't have to have you guys writing off and listing off and mispronouncing people's names? Real talk. That you've never even formed those words out of your mouth. And now you're going to wear a kente cloth and say, we're with you? What the hell is this? This is the moment where I'm like, damn. You know, I'm a Democrat. This is not a moment that we need to see. Oh, you know, the part where they're kneeling and all that stuff. We're going to show that too. But damn, man, damn, don't do that. You are clearly pandering. You don't give a damn about anything. Nancy Pelosi's main focus is to get Trump out of the White House. That is it. She doesn't care. She's like, oh, wait, I have to wear this Kunta Kente cloth. What is this? A Philando Castle. Come on. It's frustrating because I want everybody to get onto the team, onto our side and be like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. Let's make this stuff happen. This is the injustices, blah, blah, blah. But this is fake as hell, y'all. Fake as hell. Fake. It's so frustrating. It's making us look bad. It's making us Democrats look bad, bruh. It's making us look bad, man. Tom, speak on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, I'll just read here, and I want to make very clear that when we say that George Floyd isn't a martyr, it's not to say that George Floyd's death is in any way justified or to say he wasn't a good man or anything like that.
Absolutely.
But you know. The diction. I'll read the dictionary definition of the word martyr: is a person who suffers very much or is killed because of their religious or political beliefs, and is often admired because of it. And I think you're absolutely right. He wasn't killed because of his religious or political beliefs. Exactly. He was killed because he was black man.
Yes, and when she says something like the martyrdom of George Floyd, oh dear God. See, here's the thing. That's my issue. That's what grinds my gears. I have no problem backing up anything that anyone else has said on the opposing side of like, oh, he didn't, racial injustices don't exist. Police brutality, within the confines of race doesn't exist. I will fight all day long. Oh, he died unjustifiably. I will fight all day long about that stuff. But do not tell me that he was a martyr and then put him on this pedestal, like the way they're putting him up like that right now, the way she just did that. is not what needs to be done. Period.
Now, I will say on the flip side of that, you hear a lot of people that are bringing up, George Floyd's past.
Yep.
Whether it be his prior arrests or anything like that.
It's porn movies.
That's not cool either. Yeah, but that's not cool either.
No, it's not.
I don't think.
No.
I mean, George Floyd was a man. And he could have been any black man.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily. I mean, I'm a white guy. I know that it's, I know myself that this is an uncomfortable conversation to have right now.
Absolutely.
But I don't like Candace Owens going out there either and listing off every bad thing George Floyd's ever done in his life while his body's not even in the ground yet.
No.
I mean, that's disgusting, abhorrent behavior on Candace Owens' part. But on the flip side of this, coming out with Kente Kloss and trying to make George Floyd into Jesus Christ to suit your own political
agenda,
narrative.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you're just co-opting his name for your political ambitions as well, which is, pretty gross also.
Like I said, there's no reason for you to sit here. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm really angry because, I sat there, went through that whole Candace Owens video, did a reaction to it, reacted to the whole topic of her sitting there going, they're making him come out like a martyr. And when I said that, when I saw that video at that time, I'm like, no, they're not. No, we are not. We are not making him a martyr. We are using him as a symbol of the things that have happened and that this is enough. But then when you have somebody that is in office that is passing bills, that are trying to get bills signed for anti-lynching laws, the whole nine, and one of the few things that they say, one of the many things that they say is the martyrdom. Person was not a martyr. He is not Jesus Christ. He is not any martyr that we know of. He is not Gandhi. Okay? He is not. He was a man who died unjustifiably, first and foremost. And his name will be in history books and on the tips of our tongues forever because of how he died and why and what his death. And it is an example of what his death is the root of an issue that has been basically deep-seated and underneath this earth of this country for a very long time. His death finally unearthed it to a certain extent where we're finally doing something about it. That's what's going on. He is not a martyr. So when you sit there and say that, Nancy Pelosi, it's like, you just made us look really bad, man.
Yeah.
The Republicans just took a point. 1 point for the Republican side. And every other person that's sitting there saying that this Black Lives Matter movement is trash. You don't say that. And then you don't wear kente cloth. You just don't. You just don't. And then, oh my dear God, you just don't. You just don't. And I'm gonna show this video real quick. Sorry, Tom. I know you want to say something. But hold it for 2 seconds, because I want to show this video of them kneeling. Because they all get together and kneel for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, if I'm correct. They don't show it all here. Trust me, I'm not going to put you guys through it. So, but here it is. It's kind of a funny moment. Kamala Harris. Girl in the background trying to cover up her panties. And then this moment.
Hard to get up.
She can't get up. Yeah. Yes. So, anyway, just that other part. Just wanted to throw that up because, yeah, that they literally kneeled for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And, here it is. I give them mad props for doing it. I give him mad props for doing it. But at the same time, it's like, people, you don't have to try so damn hard. You really don't. We get it. If you're on our side, if you're on the side of the movement, you're on the side of the movement. We get it. We get it. Tom, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean,
sorry about that, man.
Again, you can. I don't know. I don't know where her heart is on this. You know, I mean, it could be she does feel very impassioned about this and wants to get it done. My only reservation about this is that, again, George Floyd's death is not something that took place in a vacuum. It's a long list, as she pointed out, of black men and women that have been killed unjustifiably by police. But she doesn't come out after every instance of it and say something. She comes out when cities are on fire during an election year, and she puts on a kente cloth and, you know, mispronounces a name or two. It's not to say that she doesn't care. She might very well care.
Oh, yeah.
But it just reeks a little bit of political opportunism during an election year to come out with a kente cloth and pretend like, you know, this is something that you think about day in and day out. Which, I mean, maybe it is, but it just, to me, it just kind of reeks of political opportunism.
Yeah, and that's what I see. You know, it's kind of like a, oh wait, how do I wear this cloth? Wait, and so is it a fist? Does it need to be a black fist, or can it be mine? I'm confused. It just seems like she's not fully. She doesn't know exactly what's going on. Of course, like I said, I understand the intent fully, but then it's like. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when we are starting to make changes and things start happening, these are not the times when you start doing something stupid. And it feels like she's doing something stupid. And that's it. And like I said, it's kind of like a, oh yeah, I love that hippity hop. I love that too, Pake. And that Biggie Natalius B.I.G. And it's like, what?
Ooh,
what
did
are you talking about?
Natalius?
Yes, I did. I did say Natalius B.I.G. Yes, I did. You know what I'm saying?
That's delightful.
It does actually sound good. But at the same time, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? This is who we have out there trying to, like I said, she's literally jumping on the bandwagon of the BLM movement because right now Trump looks really, really bad. So she's going, ooh, this is an opportunity to get what I want. And I want him out of office. So I'm going to do it by any means necessary, Malcolm X, to get him out.
And she also has a progressive Democrat opponent in the primary. So she's definitely trying to show her progressive credentials. But, you know, just come to it honestly, you know? Don't try and put on airs and say, oh, I've got this kente cloth. And, you know, I mean, not to focus too much on the kente cloth. You know, I'm sure, you know, I don't know where the idea for all of them to wear that came from. It might have been something, you know, totally benign, you know, but just come to it honestly.
Right.
We're going to need to have honest back and forth conversations with each other. And when you're coming in with a kente cloth that everyone's just like, well, hang on. That almost distracts entirely from the moment itself.
It's
the moment itself is supposed to be for George Floyd. You're taking a knee, but all anybody's seeing is, what the hell's she got on her neck? Why is she wearing that?
Yeah. To me, it's like, you know, sorry to say it like this, but it's almost as if it's like the girl, the white girl that hit, that got to get it with a black dude once, and suddenly they understand the black culture and they understand the swag and all that the black culture has and everything. That's what it seems like. Oh, you know, I understand that because that's what this means. And oh yeah, I love chitlins. Like, get out of here. Shut up. Stop trying so damn hard. We gets it. We appreciate you being on the team. Be on the team. But you don't have to go all the way out of your way with the Kente cloths and all. Like, and then I'm looking at all the other people that are in the room that are black, you know, black and brown. And I'm wondering if they were like, are we like they're getting the Kente cloth handed to them and they're like, are we really doing this? Wait, you mean to tell me all the white people are wearing this ish too? Whose idea was this? Are you sure we're going to do that? Who said we gonna do this? You know what I'm saying? Like Kamala Harris. I'm just curious if she was like, wow, we're really wearing this right now? I mean, I'll wear it, but who else is wearing this? And I'm not saying that white people can't wear it, but at the same time, what's the intent behind it? Is it a good move or not? To me, it seems like it's pandering. We're going to go into a quick commercial break, but before we go into it, I'm going to throw this out. People are laughing. That's funny. I'm glad you guys are laughing. I'm going to be opening up the phone lines here very shortly. I have a question for all of you guys out here. Has the Black Lives Matter movement become a trend? Yes, I said it. Has the Black Lives Matter movement become a trend? Please definitely call us at 314-766-4581. We're going to go into a quick commercial break, but when we come back, phone lines will be open. Let's get this conversation going. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Sex, money, power, respect. All of us have in this community. All the good people different to me.
Take up your glass.
The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their suckers. Their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. People are feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now. Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're gonna perform
I'm sorry,
tonight.
I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Hey, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I always say, if this is your first time checking out this show, crush that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. That would really mean a lot. And of course, hit that like button down below underneath if you're enjoying our conversation. So it is time for a little bit of Speak On It. All right. Brought to you by the Wildlife Command Center. please go check them out at wildlifecommandcenter.com and check them out on Facebook as well. Anyway, our phone lines are open right now, 314-766-4581. And the question of the day is the Black Lives Matter movement a trend? Has the Black Lives Matter movement become a trend? I'm going to throw that out there. Give us a call. Let us know what you think. Let's get some callers on the phone today. Shall we? Anyway, 1 second. Okay, so I just got something. Sorry, guys, for that little mute moment. Welcome to my world. A lot of stuff pops up. Apparently, there is some speculation on reasons why companies are going and getting putting out the Black Lives Matter movement, showing their solidarity, showing their support in solidarity towards the movement, because a lot of people feel like the corporations are scared of losing the black dollar. So there's that. So, as you obviously have seen, there's been a lot of press releases, a lot of letters, a lot of emails, that kind of thing that have been coming out where people are going, hey, we at Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's a bad one. Sorry. That's a little racist. Moving on. Here at McDonald's, we have, we want to say that we are behind the Black Lives Matter movement 110%, and Black Lives Matter. Have a good day. Keep buying our burgers. So, has the Black Lives Matter movement become a trend? Tommy, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I'm of two minds of this.
Okay.
In one sense, I really hope that it has become a trend. As long as the message remains clear and people educate themselves on the history of it and what the movement is, I hope to God it becomes a trend. If it becomes a trend, though, in the way that, we watched that woman on Instagram a few days ago, picking up a drill and acting like she was putting stuff back together after a night of rioting.
BLM. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
if it becomes a trend, for people that are surface only, then the movement will lose some of its impact. But I think it's good. I think it's a good thing that is becoming a trend in some ways. If people are out there educating themselves on police brutality and the history of police brutality and are educating themselves as to what steps we can take to possibly keep this from happening going forward, I think it's a great thing that's a trend. But if it's just being done for clout and for clicks and for likes and for empty platitudes, then that's not good.
I
think the trend thing, if it's going to become a trend, it's better than it being swept under the rug and forgotten about.
Yeah. So I got a couple comments here, but let's see. Yeah, the photo shoot with the girl who was like BLM, just so you guys know, that she was an anchor or like a commentator, a reporter for a conservative paper, a conservative website, basically like The Blaze, type of website and everything. So her running up and taking a photo with that looked really ridiculous. Real talk. Was a bad look on any angle that you look at it, whether she was trying to support or be against it. It was just a really bad look because it was just fake as hell. But somebody else just said, Mr. Super, what up, Mang? He said, when the LGBTQ movement went mainstream, a lot of laws got passed. Trendy can help a movement. You know what? Yeah. I can see that. You're very, very right. I see that. That's a very strong point, Mr. Super. Alexa said on and this is when my Alexa goes off in the background. Alexa on Periscope. Sorry, that the only time I could ever use that joke is right now. Anyway, on Periscope, thank you so much for commenting on Periscope. Alexa said, started with getting a bunch of coronavirus emails and commercials. Now it's BLM. Yep, that's very, very true. It's gone viral even in your emails. You know, where it's like, oh, you know, we here at Gold's Gym feel that every life matters, or here at Gold's Gym we're doing our due diligence to make sure you guys don't get the coronavirus. Stay healthy out there. Please stay a member of our gym. You know what I mean? So when we open back up, please don't leave us. Please don't go. Don't go. Anyway, let's see. It's like the companies are following a script. Alexa also said that on Periscope, and that's absolutely right. You know, now, the one thing that I think about this is, she says she gets it all the time, the Alexa thing. Sorry. And of course, people are going in on some stuff. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But what's funny is, that's what I've noticed, where it's an email, or it's a photo of people out there wearing a mask, holding like a Black Lives Matter photo, you know, like it's a photo. And you know, see, I feel bad because okay, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you guys here really quick, you know? So on my social medias, all right, shameless plug, follow us on the Pascal Show Instagram. But I put up a photo because I obviously went and I marched. I was part of the protest, you know, part of the peaceful protests. So I was there out at the demonstrations because I felt compelled to be there. Now, there were some photos that were taken of me and my family, me and members of my family being out there, the whole nine, holding signs, the whole nine. I put that photo up, or I put a photo up on Instagram. And I'm telling you, it took me a whole day of deliberating and my own internal debates inside, trying to figure out whether or not I should post this photo or not. Because I did not want to make it seem like I was clout chasing. I did not want it to come off like I was trying so hard for everyone to see that, oh yeah, you know, I'm out here because, you know, Black Lives Matter and it's the real me. No. But then after thinking about it for a little while, then I realized, no, I'm here because one, I'm telling the story, I'm capturing the story, and second, I'm part of history. I'm being a part of history. Why should I not be able to post a photo or take a photo and have it for myself and be there in solidarity? So that was part of, like, for me, my own self, because I was like, I don't want to come off like I'm clout chasing. I really don't. But at the same time, I'm here. And what I truly feel is what this protest is really about. I'm with the Black Lives Matter movement. But then again, you got all these photos that are out there with these girls, you know, that are trying to look cute, holding the sign, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, that are just literally trying to, like, they just walked out of their Wish.com, you know, wardrobe, you know, or their Fashion Nova clothing, you know, looking all matched up with everything, including their Black Lives Matter sign. And those are the kind of things that I'm like, man, do we really need that right now? Do we really need to see you in your latest gear? It's really that important. So that's why I'm asking if Black Lives Matter has turned into a trend. Because I see it more. I see more people like I'm saying right now, more than any other Black Lives Matter protest that I've ever seen in the past 5, 6, 7 years. I'm seeing more and more people out here. Sorry to say this, Tom, but more and more white people, more and more white girls, to be real straight funky with you, running around, trying to be all cute, holding their signs saying that they're there in solidarity. And it's like, where were you when the first time this happened? Where were you during the first demonstration, during the first protest? Where were your asses? Why weren't you taking photos back then? But suddenly now you're here. Same thing, Nancy Pelosi. It's like, is this really a trend? And I understand trend, but I don't know if this is a trend in a good way. It's a trend of, I'm not racist. Look, I'm not racist. I'm holding a sign. I'm not racist. I'm holding a I'm not racist sign. Do you see it? I'm not racist. Is it really helping us or hindering us? I'm quite perplexed about this, y'all. Sorry. So, it vexes me. You know, I was thinking about this last night because I'm more and more I'm seeing photos on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm just seeing this and I'm like, yo, is this really your fight? Are you really making this your fight, or you just happened to show up to just take this photo op? So call us, 314-766-4581. Tom, what do you think?
Well, I mean, again, I think if it becomes a trend that causes people to educate themselves on the topic, then I'm all about people that haven't been at protests before showing up at the protests. If it's a growing movement, fantastic. If it's a growing movement of educated people that are informed on the issue and that are trying to do the right thing, and you haven't been to a protest, get your ass out to the protest. You know, if that's what you want to do, grow the movement, great. You know, we were talking just a couple of seconds ago about corporations now embracing the Black Lives Matter movement. And, okay, great. But, you know, a lot of these corporations that are doing it is just PR. It's just BS.
Right.
Are they going to put more black men and women on their boards? Are they going to stop donating to political candidates that keep the status quo going? Or are they going to support progressive candidates that are going to try and tackle this issue? Or are they just trying to get you to buy more burgers or whatever the hell? So, yeah, I think if people want to join the movement, if you want to go out and protest, and you've never been to a protest before, but you saw the death of George Floyd and maybe the death of Ahmaud Arbery, and it lit something in you, then by all means go out and do it. If you're out there doing it for clout, for clicks, for likes, which I don't know how many of the people out there are actually doing it for that.
Are they doing anything for clout? Like, seriously.
I mean, but is that a widespread thing? I mean, is that most of the white people at these rallies?
I'm not saying that it's most. I wouldn't say most, but I would say there's a good portion of people that literally are doing exactly what that girl with the drill did. You know, showing up and going, oh, thanks, guys. You know, BLM.
Yeah.
And it's not really like they don't fully grasp or fully understand it. They don't fully understand what the movement really means. They're just doing it because they have a few black friends and they still want to be cool with them. And they don't want to get in trouble, making it seem like they're not being a part of the solution, that they don't want to seem like they're being a part of the problem. They want to come off and come across like they are a part of the solution. And then there's the same people, I swear on my all my children, okay? All my future children, that there are kids out there that were sitting there talking behind closed doors, talking ish about the death of Michael Brown Jr., talking about the death of Eric Garner, talking about the death of Philando Castile. And they're out in those streets going, oh, suddenly Black Lives Matter. Because they have a few black friends. Or they love Tekashi 6ix9ine. Wait, he's not black? I'm confused. So that's what I mean by, like, has it become a trend? And then when is it like, hey guys, and I'm not sitting here that saying that we shouldn't have white people on our team, white people in a part of the movement. Absolutely. Come on, man. The water's warm because we've been in it for all this time. So the water is warm. But at the same time, I do see a lot of people that are just fake clout chasing. Just doing it just to seem like they're really a part of the, really part of the system, or like really trying to be a part of the solution rather than be part of the problem. But they're only out there to be like, it's only a few hours of my day. Selfie, solidarity, BLM, and that's what I mean. So definitely give us a call, 314-766-4581. What were you going to say, Tom?
I mean, I would hope that that's not the majority of people that are showing up at these. The majority of white people that are showing up at these. I hope they're not like that.
And I'm not trying to ostracize. Sorry, Tom. I'm not trying to ostracize only white people. There are black people that are doing the same damn thing. But go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
I will say though, the George Floyd video, and there have been many videos of black men being killed or, beaten half to death by cops that have come out. The first one I remember is Rodney King. There is something different about the George Floyd video. It's a lot more graphic.
For sure.
You see it. The George Floyd video, I feel like, is a little different from the videos we've seen in the past. Not to say that the videos we've seen in the past of police killing black men and women or beating them up aren't bad, but the George Floyd one is, 9 minutes of a man dying.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've seen. Sorry, I'm going to try not to get emotional, but
it's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
When he's screaming out for his mom. I mean, it's a different kind of video.
Yeah.
And I can see where that could light a fire in some people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay, Tom. It's okay. I've shed many tears on this show. And the thing is that that's one of the reasons why I can see what the point that you're making right now is exactly the reason why I'm saying, hey, there are people out here, not only just black, but there are other races that are out here, of course, that are showing their support because it is affecting all of us in a visceral way. And it's beyond race, So I'm not sitting here saying that all white people at all are just here to be a part of the clout, or they're just doing it for clout. And I'm not saying that at all, because I know that innately, deep down, we are all feeling this. We all saw that video, and it did shake a lot of us to the core in a visceral way, in a human way, on a human tip. And that's why George Floyd's name is out there and is in front of everybody's face. And because it is such a one that you cannot turn your face away from. When it came to Michael Brown Jr., it was all hearsay. We hear people's stories and different angles of the story, and we see some surveillance footage of a gas station mini mart type thing. We hear stories of people in the streets, but we never saw the actual video. We never saw something like that one, where there's no way that you can make an excuse about it. There's no way around it. It's right there in your face. Warts and all. In all its unforgettable and unfortunate glory. And yes, that's why I feel a lot of people are feeling that are moved like you are moved right now, Tom. You know?
Yeah,
because it's hitting
it's
us.
Obviously been it's been a rough 2 weeks.
It has been. It has been.
You know, but again, I mean, if people want to go out there and maybe they are a little ignorant on the issues, maybe they don't know the full history of it, but if they want to go out there and learn, I'm all about it. What concerns me more is the corporate co-opting of the movement from people that don't, really don't care. They're just trying to sell a product. That's one thing I did like seeing. I think this, is some good news out of this is Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's how you say his name. He's married to Serena Williams. He has a child with her. But he stepped down from the board of Reddit and said, replace me with a black man. That's the kind of leadership.
Yeah, but
that's not doing PR BS.
That is,
which I feel like a lot of these corporations and a lot of these politicians, quite frankly, are doing.
But you also, I gotta say this just for devil's advocate part. Sorry, but he is smashing Serena Williams. Sorry, but he is married to Serena Williams. He is a very rich man to begin with. So him being having that chair, he still has his shares, the whole nine. So financially, he's not losing a whole lot. But at the same time, I see what you're saying. It's an amazing gesture. It's an amazing move, and I embrace what he did. But at the same time, it's not like he said, "Hey, well, I'm gonna go and live off a commune and give this to a black guy." You know what I mean? There's not much risk in him stepping down. He's still making monies. You know what I'm saying? But still, an amazing move. An amazing move. Real talk.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly a lot more in a lot of these other places. I mean, I want to see results at this point. I want to see, I want to see the country represented the way it should be.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I want to see boardrooms that reflect America. I want to see, I want to see the systemic racism brought down.
I would love to see that too in my lifetime. I would love to have my children see it,
Because I just worry, you see a lot of the politicians out there and stuff. I feel like they just want to turn the gas off on the fires.
Yeah.
They just want the fires to go out and everything to go back the way it was. We can't go back the way it was.
No, we can't.
It'll just keep happening over and over and over again.
Absolutely. Hey, Tom, let me call you back again because your connection for some weird reason is really sticky and fuzzy. So that sounded really wrong, but you know what I'm saying. Let me
I get
let me call you back here in 2 seconds, all right?
All right.
Let's try this again. Anyway, definitely give us a call, guys. 314-766-4581. Hopefully this is a little bit of a better connection.
Is it a little better now?
I don't see your face yet, but there we go. It's just weird, but it's really not wanting to be cooperative today for some weird reason. But anyway, we're just gonna have to leave it as is, I guess. It is what it is. But yes, and Tom, here it is, brother. I really do appreciate you being so candid and so, and so real, because that's the thing we need. That's what the show's all about. Getting our 2 cents out there, whether we agree or not, or don't agree. Some things are going to move you just like things are going to move me. This is it's terrible. It sucks that we are in this world. It sucks that we're in this world. Like this. And it sucks that we're in this time right now. But at the same time, I hope and pray that these times are like, it's like we're going through puberty right now. If that makes any sense. It's weird. It's like, why is this hair growing here? And I don't understand it. And blah, blah, blah. My voice is changing. All this stuff. You got to go through all this BS to finally become an adult. And I think that that's what America right now is going through in regards to the racism issue that's going on in the country. Like we're just going through very weird changes, I'm going through changes. You know what I mean? And I think that we're just slowly going through these changes right now so that hopefully we are fully full-grown adult rather than some pimple-faced, snot-nosed, preteen, which is kind of what we're in right now. Yeah. So we're gonna get through it. You know what I mean? Nikki says, "I really love your show. You make all of us stop and think about what is happening and important to you. Love to you and the people on the show." Nikki, thank you so much for the love. Gary O'Neill said you're probably right. Thank you, Gary, for it's not every day that people agree with me on this show, so I appreciate it that you guys are showing some love and support and agreeing with us. But like I said, James keeps warning everybody. Give us a call. Like I said, pick up the phone and give us a call. 314-766-4581. Drop a dime. Let us know what you think in regards to it all. There is, like I said, do you think that the Black Lives Matter movement has become a trend? And the thing is that Mr. Super said something that was very true. He had a very good point, which we both agreed on. Ha! Surprise, surprise. Tom and I agreed on something, but we agree with him. To a certain extent, sometimes things need to become a trend so that there's a change that happens. But I just don't like it when it's like, like that scene in Get Out where it's like, oh, I voted for Obama 2 times. I'd vote for him a 3rd time if he was running again, or if they would have allowed me. Or I got 3 black friends. Let me list them off really quick. Or, oh, because, I banged 1 black guy. Suddenly I understand the plight of racism and a plight of a black man in this country. Please push all that stuff, all that stupid ish to the side real quick, but if you're intense, but if you are really coming out here because of the social injustices, because you are backing the movement in a positive way, not just to look good and get a few likes on your social medias, if you're really out here for the rights of people and for the right side, then shoot, we all embrace you over here, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. So Tano Vane said, I need to get a landline so I can actually get a decent connection in my house. I have to go for a walk, usually too many mountains. Wow, you live in the mountains. Lucky you. I tune in twice a day because of you and what you say to us. Wow, Nikki, thank you so much. That really means a lot. You never know who's actually listening and why they're listening and all that stuff. You know what I mean, Tom? I guess I lost Tom again. Dag nabbit. Let me try this again. Wow. It is refusing to be my friend today. That is some wild stuff. Anyway, definitely give me a call. 314-766-4581. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. This whole thing's tripping. You know what? We're going to go into a quick commercial break. We will be right back. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Sex, money, power, respect. All of us in this community. All of you people different to me.
Take up in glass.
The festival's crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their seconds and loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. We wasn't feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling the road and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, and we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now. Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood, we inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Like I always say, if this is your first time checking out the show, please go click that like button underneath this feed right now, and of course, crush that subscribe button. That would really, really mean a lot. I am trying to get in contact with Tom. Tom is back. We are back. There we go. There's a connection. Damn, man. Damn.
Is it back up and running now?
Yeah. I see your face, everything. I don't know what happened, but I think I had to reboot everything. I just had to reboot this computer to make sure everything was good. But there's his face. It gave me an
opportunity to get my emotions somewhat more under control now. So
it's okay, man. No, it's okay. You know, like I said, I really appreciate your candor. You know what I mean? I really appreciate your heart is in the right place, man. You know, there's not.
It's been a hard week for everybody.
Yes.
You know,
it's been a hard couple weeks. It's been a hard couple years. It's been a hard couple decades. But at the same time, for a lot of people, but at the same time, you know, the fact that these things have happened is the things that have happened right now. That's unfortunate that these things have happened. But I'm happy that the truth and the, you know, the realness is come to light in front of a lot of people. And a lot of it has infiltrated the comfort of their own homes. Not like Tucker Carlson, who's sitting there going, oh, they're coming for you. They're coming for you. No, not at all. No way, shape, or form like that at all. But the fact that that type of stuff is going, hey, here's the reality of it all. This is the world that we live in. And we need to see those things. And there's no way, shape, or form that you can get around it. Now, of course, there's like all kinds of crazy theories and speculations and conspiracies and all that stuff. Nah, man. Like when you look at the video itself, unedited, untampered, undoctored, you know, just there in all of its unfortunate glory, you clearly see that a cop is kneeling on a man's neck and he dies. Right there on camera. It's a terrible thing. So it's sad. It's really, really sad. But I appreciate everybody. Like I said, I appreciate everybody having their patience with us on this whole thing today, or that moment right there. These things happen, you know. Welcome to being in a show where you're still practicing social distancing, where you're not in the studio, when you're not at the station, being able to do what we usually do on the regular. So, you know, like I said, I appreciate everybody being so patient and being understanding. But we got to go into some other conversations because we only have a little bit of time. We might bleed over if Tom's okay with it. We might bleed over 12 o'clock today because there is a few more things that we got to discuss and talk about. And I was holding a lot of these things off from last night's show because I wanted to have somebody else to bounce these conversations off with, because I was just like, these are too juicy for us not to talk about. All right. So let's get into the other top story that we have on our list right above our heads. J.K. Rowling is in trouble right now. She's under a lot of fire for her tweets about, that have been coming off quite transphobic. Tom, let me throw that over to you while I pull up this tweet really quick, because you did send that to me, correct?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm
getting it real
J.K.
quick.
Rowling, this isn't the first time she's made statements along these lines, but over the weekend, J.K. Rowling, of course, wrote the Harry Potter series, got a lot of criticism for a series of tweets that a lot of people interpreted as transphobic. She seemed to have been set off by an article on access to menstrual hygiene products during the global pandemic. And in that article, the author referred to people born as women as people who menstruate.
Yes. Hold on. I'm pulling up the tweet right now. You ready to go for it?
Yep.
Okay, so you have the tweet. Okay, so here it is.
Yeah.
So J.K. Rowling says...
Yeah, so she says... she started out by saying, people who menstruate, I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wumben, wimpund, wumud. And then she said, if sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth. The idea that women like me, who've been empathetic to trans people for decades, feeling kinship because they're vulnerable in the same way as women, i.e. to male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and has lived consequences, is a nonsense.
Wait, so let me, just so I can understand this fully, right? Just so I understand this fully, the second tweet, was that a was that a continuation of the same of a thought of the previous tweet, or was that a response to
that was a continuation of the first tweet?
Gotcha. Yeah. Now, obviously, she's under a lot of fire. Like, the people are really siding on the LGBTQ side of things, even to the point where, why I'm forgetting Harry Potter himself. What's his name? Shoot.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe, you know what I'm saying, is now getting on the side of basically saying that trans women are women. And so there is a lot of back and forth going on. Now, if I'm correct, I think she did come out with a response tweet about that, if I'm correct, and like where she was trying to clear things up a little bit, you know? I think.
I don't have that one handy.
I think. Let me look this up real quick. Let me see real quick. Make sure I'm not on crack. Scooby-Doo. Okay. I think she had like... Let's see. Maybe I don't have it. Here it is. Like, yes, she said, "Someone help me out." Wimpom, Woomud. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the hell that was. So I don't see any.
Yeah, well, let's see. There is a third tweet here where she says, "I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it's hateful to say so." So not really an apology, more of a double.
Not really. Yeah. That is not an apology by any way, shape, or form. That was my bad that you think this is what, you think that this is transphobic, but I'm sorry, I'm speaking on the confines of being a woman. Here it is. Maybe JK needs to really start saying, I just should just keep to writing books. Maybe she should just stay in her lane and just keep writing books and just keep her mouth shut. I mean, because this isn't the first time that she's opened her mouth on Twitter, and it's, where Twitter's just gone ablaze about her thoughts in her tweets and all that stuff. She has said many, many controversial things via tweet, So in my personal opinion, you need to stay in your lane and just keep writing, sweetheart. Like, keep making your millions and billions and billions of dollars off of your books. You're really good at that. Stay in that lane. No one's going to go and buy your books no more if you start continuing to just get yourself in trouble for the tweets that you put out. I'm sorry, but that's basically what it was. My bad, but I am still a woman, so.
Yeah,
What do you think?
It's odd to see, because this isn't the first time she's kind of waded into these waters. This is not the first time, and I sympathize with her to some degree. That she wants to maintain female identity, but at the same time.
But wait a second.
This is your hill to die on. It's very strange.
Yeah, but then it's like, wait a second. If she's trying to identify, what did you just say? Repeat that last phrase you said about identify as woman.
She's trying to defend her
womanhood.
Her womanhood, or by saying, I was born a woman, I menstruate,
Right, but now here's the thing. Who's to say that trans women don't feel the same way?
Right.
Just because they were born a male, doesn't mean that inside that they feel that they are women.
Exactly right.
In a way, she shouldn't be saying that, because that should be saying that she should be saying that for all women, trans and biological women alike, and just keep it at that. She does her apology tweet could have been said. She could have just put in, went in and edited something and then put in all women alike or trans women and women alike, whatever. There's a lot of trans women out there that have been identifying themselves as women for a very, very long time and still identify themselves right now as women. Just because they don't menstruate does not mean that they are not a woman. Does not mean that they don't identify themselves as women. Then also, you got to remember, think about this, the discrimination that they're getting for one, not only just being a woman, but also being a trans woman. That's some heavy stuff.
Yep.
That's a lot.
It's
so what you get in menstruation is what a lot of these trans women are getting in discrimination.
I just think it's very odd that she up until this, and again, this isn't the first time she's talked about it, this wading into the trans debate. I mean, how much goodwill had she accrued, up until this point, being the author of the Harry Potter series and making reading cool again. I mean, my niece has read those books like 7 or 8 times now. It's ridiculous. But why? I mean, if she privately feels this way, that trans people are infringing on, old school women's rights arguments, if she feels like, that the voice of women that were naturally born women is being overshadowed by trans, I don't know. Not every thought you have needs to be tweeted out. Maybe that's something you keep privately to yourself. So you don't squander goodwill. And I mean, I don't know if my niece, who's read these book series 8 times over, is aware of what J.K. Rowling is saying on Twitter, but I don't know. I mean, I get it. She's a woman. She's entitled to her views on femininity. I'm a man. I'm not in that same way at all.
Right. Now,
that being said, it just seems an awkward hill to die on, to keep bringing this up to the point where, like, the guy that played Harry Potter is like, yeah, I don't agree with this woman.
Yeah. He's like, you made me a star, woman who wrote these books, but nah, all women are women. Trans women are women too. You know what I mean? And he, it's crazy that it's splitting the divide. It's like that scene in the crappy Star Wars trilogy that we dare not speak of. It's like, you are the chosen one. You are, it's like you're fighting uphill. You're gonna die, man. Anakin, don't try it. Just don't do it. You are the chosen one. So
I would like if we could have a female caller call in on this, because I do feel a little icky talking about this as a guy, because
I mean, you got a point.
I know I come to this as, I'm a white guy. I mean, speaking on trans rights and women's rights, I feel
you got a point there. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, it would be great to have a female voice call in. I've been basically saying to everybody, call us 314-766-4581. So give us a call. I'd love to hear a woman's opinion about this as well. What y'all think? Please give us a call. I
mean, I have my own views on this, but I can also see where, as a woman who's born a woman, that she might feel that, feel a certain way about this. And I don't know. I mean, I'm all for trans rights, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel a little odd talking about this.
I feel you. No, I feel you, because it's not like, it's not like you are of the LGBTQ community, and neither am I. So a woman, or a woman, or or trans male. You never know. Yeah. So you're right. We don't really, even what we're saying does not really fully, you know what I'm saying, we don't really have a say in this situation.
It's kind of true.
We really don't have a say. But at the same time, I know what's right and I know in my heart what is right, and I know in my heart what is wrong. And there are people who are sorry, I'm working on something, because some people are yeah, sorry, there's people on here that are saying some stuff, and they shouldn't be saying stuff, so I'm just making sure that they're clear.
The racists are back.
Yep, they're back.
Racist trolls.
Yep, they're back.
Yeah,
they be back and all. Anyway,
rich full lives, the racist YouTube trolls.
Absolutely. But
it's
anyway,
like nothing better to do at 11:30 on a Wednesday than go spread race hate on YouTube.
You got some things to do, you know what I'm saying? Not this. You know what I'm saying? Alex, what's up, man? I hope UK is treating you well. Hopefully it's sunny over there, not rainy right now. Tanner Vane said there's a problem. There's a person on Twitch, on the Twitch diversity thing, that is born male, who identifies as female, who identifies as a male deer. Oh my God. I don't know what that means. That's some crazy stuff. See, Lauren, call in. I would love to. Lauren said, if I weren't at work, I'd call in. I'm trans. Now, Lauren, I would love to get your opinion about this. So definitely call in. You know what I mean? That's, I would love to know.
As a straight cis white male, it's I feel like I'm it's hard to weigh in on this without coming off like an a-hole to somebody.
Yeah, it's very, very true. It's very, very true. And that's just, unfortunately, I mean, like I said, we don't really have a full place to say we don't have a full place to say anything, because we are not trans, but at the same time, we do know what's innately good and what's innately bad. And I know that J.K. Rowling just needs to stay with writing books. She just needs to stay with the writing books. Putting in tweets and all that stuff is just, like I said, it's interesting. Also, let's go on to the next topic, because there is something else that I wanted to talk about. Terry Crews. Holy God, Terry Crews. My brother, Terry Crews. And Lauren, it's okay. It's okay. But Terry Crews, guys. Terry Crews went to Twitter just a couple days ago and said something along the lines of, I'm trying to find it now, because I had it up. Now it's gone. Now it be gone, y'all. Dude. Hold on. He said something along the lines of black supremacy. He made a tweet. He made a very controversial tweet about black supremacy.
Yes. I have the tweet here. It's
I was going to do let me do a little bit of a background story real quick, and then you can do it. Okay. Brooklyn Nine-Nine star Terry Crews faced Twitter backlash on Sunday after a tweet about race relations he meant to be inspiring turned into a controversy. As protests continue nationwide following the May 29th death of George Floyd in police custody, Crews, 51, who has been an active voice calling for change on social media, tweeted, what did he tweet?
He said, defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. Like it or not, we are all in this together.
Okay, so this tweet suggesting black supremacy immediately went viral, with both Terry Crews and black supremacy shooting to trending topics on Twitter as social media users blasted the comment. So we are going to talk about this one. See, this is the moment when you go, this is where you want to say, like, I wish that there was a bot or something like that that just says, hey man, you sure you want to tweet this? Yo, Terry, you sure you want to tweet this? Hey, JK, you sure you want to tweet this? You know what I'm saying? Just before you hit send, or that there's like a 15-minute hold on your tweets so that you can make sure as you see it out there on your thing, it's like, this won't be fully public for 15 minutes. You sure you want to put this out? Yeah. Not a good black supremacy. Black supremacy. Where does he have the, where would there ever be black supremacy? How would black be, how could there be black supreme? How could there be black supremacy? We've never even experienced that, ever. Now, white supremacy, yes, we still experience that to this day. But black supremacy, what? How could that even be possible? Don't we take up like 13% of the population, of the U.S. population? How would that even be possible? That's impossible. Where are you coming from? Another thing, it's the intent. I get it. And I get that his heart is there. But what are you saying, man? What you said was not fully thought out. Period. That's not thought out, man. That is really dumb. Really, really dumb. Tom.
Yeah. So I'm glad we went from women's and trans issues to this. Both subjects I'm very comfortable talking about. First thing in the morning.
Yeah.
This what he said obviously drew a lot of responses from other. Orlando Jones went back on him on Twitter, responding to the tweet, said, black supremacy.
I was just about to read that.
13% of the U.S. population hold no institutional power and gaslight our coworkers. We got 99 problems, and your math isn't the only one.
Yep.
There are a lot of people very, very upset with Terry Crews about that tweet. And I guess he put out that tweet the same day Mitt Romney went and marched with Black Lives Matter protesters. So we had people like Daryl Wharton Rigby, who tweeted, we have officially entered the twilight zone on a day when Mitt Romney marches with Black Lives Matters and Terry Crews does the thing he does.
Yeah.
Frederick Joseph posted, every time I think Terry Crews has done the worst, he always does more. So received quite a bit of backlash. Terry Crews, he tried to clarify his statements a little later. He said, please know that everything I've said comes from a spirit of love and reconciliation for the black community first, then the world as a whole, and in hopes to see a better future for black people.
You know what? Here it is. Like, okay, like I keep saying, intent. I get it. You have intent. The intent is there. I get what you were, I understand that what you were trying to say was something else, but you could have rephrased it a little bit different. It's not, in this situation, is what you said and how you said it. You could have come off a little bit different, a little bit better. That tweet could have been a much stronger tweet than what it was. It definitely backfired so hard, you know? Especially like right now, there's all this stuff in regards to Gabrielle Union and America's Got Talent. And I understand that you're the new host and all that, but not once did you ever show that you had her back. Still to this day, I mean, you tried to cover it up. You tried to go back and go, no. No, I do have her back and all that stuff. But you're still working there. Nothing's changed. Not a damn thing's changed. You know, now they brought in Sofia Vergara. You know, America's Got Talent. You know that girl. You know the girl with the big high voice and the heavy accent. She's funny. She's great. But at the same time, they replaced her with her because she is likable to the white community. She's on one of the biggest hit shows ever. You know, Modern Family. She's on a huge show. Everybody loves her. You know, Sofia Vergara. You know what I mean? She's great. But of course, they fired Gabrielle Union because of her hairstyles and stuff. You're not saying anything about that. You didn't tweet anything about that, at least that I know of. So I don't know. You got it all wrong, man. Clearly the math is off. Clearly you don't understand the words that you're putting out there in that particular tweet. That was a very small tweet. In that small tweet, you just blew your whole thing up. The whole thing up. And like I said, I get your intent. I get what angle you were trying to get at. That we all need to get along and all that stuff. I get that. You didn't need to say it like that, though. You were really trying hard to sound smart. That's not what you needed to be doing right then and there, brother. That's my personal opinion on it. So stupid.
It's a difficult time to be a celebrity on Twitter. There's a lot of people stepping in it. And I feel this, I mean, I feel this every day too. I worry like hell that, you know, God forbid I ever meet with any fame in my life. We're going to have 3 hours a day of my unfiltered, off the top of my head comments on the day's most controversial issues. Yeah. Sometimes you're not going to hit it right.
No.
Sometimes you're not going to have the right opinion.
I mean, here it is. Not everybody's going to be, shoot, man. I like, you know, the most, even just speaking on a real personal level in regards to even just the things that I've been posting on YouTube. Shoot, man. I put up a video about Tucker Carlson, the video that we talked about Tucker Carlson yesterday, and it's getting destroyed. People are destroying it. People are hating us, you know, for what we talked about, saying, oh, you got you're misinformation and blah, 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 and do your research, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be perfect. No one's perfect. There's no way I'm going to, you know, sit here and do a video and every single time I put out a video, it's going to be a knock out the park. You know, it's not going to be a home run every time. You know, sometimes there are going to be things that people disagree on. But at the same time, when you have such a magnifying glass over your life where the black community is looking to you as a figure, you really need to rethink the things that you're saying. Rethink what you're about to tweet. Because somebody's going to take it, screenshot it, and put it all over the ether, and it's going to be ugly. He did not need to say any of that noise, man. He did not. In fact, he should have came back and said, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. You know, maybe I shouldn't be putting this thing in. Let me just rephrase that real quick. Make sure I'm not being super stupid. You know?
I mean, I think, you know, we've all said dumb stuff before that maybe doesn't really reflect what we really meant to say.
Of course. Like I said, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. But we definitely had to talk about that because, you know, we definitely had to get that opinion, you know, that talk out because that's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, but I just hadn't gotten a chance to really bring it up. We've been talking about so many other things in regards to Trump and voting and Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. And still, all this stuff still revolves around all that stuff too. But at the same time, Terry, man, you know, I like Terry Crews. He just needs to start thinking something else. You know, he just needs to put down the phone for a second and just not say anything for a little while. Take a break, buddy. You know what I mean? Take a lap. Walk it off. Walk it off, man. Just walk it off. Do us that favor. Walk it off for a while. Keep hosting America's Got Talent. Just stay off Twitter for a little while. Anyway, moving on to the next topic. We do have something else that we need to talk about. Ivanka Trump. This is an interesting thing. She blames. This is actually funny. She blames cancel culture for her being canceled from speaking at having a commencement speech. It's freaking nuts. Where is that thing? I have it here. I'm just trying to find it right quick. You know what? I don't have it apparently. But there we go. Tom, do you have anything on that? I do have a video. Yeah. Hold on.
Here's what professional filmmakers said were their biggest mistakes they.
Come on. What did you say, Tom? Sorry.
Oh, do you have the video?
I do have a video. CNN covered it, so we're just going to throw this video out real quick.
All right.
Yes. Hold on. Get this up to the top. Up to the tippy top. Ooh, it's fuzzy as hell. But you'll get the general idea. Here we go.
Now to the commencement speech that wasn't. This one involving first daughter Ivanka Trump. On Twitter, Trump is blaming what's popularly known as cancel culture after a technical school in Kansas sided with student and faculty demands and shut down Ivanka Trump's virtual commencement speech in light of her father's response to George Floyd's death and his handling of nationwide protests and protests in Washington. She posted an excerpt of the speech that she was planning to make.
You commence at a moment unlike any other. America and the world are battling a terrible pandemic. Our entire society is engaged in a national endeavor to defeat the virus, protect our fellow citizens, and open up America again to rebuild our economy and take care of the safety and well-being of our people. You are a wartime graduate.
Kavya Natason is with us now. She graduated from Wichita State University in 2018. And tell us, you signed an open letter that opposed this speech. Tell us why.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you having me. I think at a time when Black communities and allies throughout the United States and even the world at this point have been risking their lives to prevent the system at large from perpetuating such pervasive injustice and violence, WSU Tech invited the person who's a senior advisor and the daughter of a man who has the platform, the power, the resources, and the ability to heal our nation and truly work towards deconstructing the system. But obviously none of that has transpired. I think that Ivanka Trump has been complicit in terms of, as her father continues to incite violence against the very people that want an end to it. And I think that seeing her is really the definition of performative allyship. She has talked about equality. She has spoken on solidarity and unity and achieving justice. But that's all completely unsupported by any policies or tangible contributions or constructive change. So I think that inviting someone of that caliber to a university and a university affiliate that wants to support students of color and, in a platform and environment of inclusion and equity and justice, it sends a very different message to the students and faculty there.
And Kavya, you've probably seen part of her address because she posted it online. We just played some of it. In another part, she also talks about kind of all of the effort, including tears, that have gone into what students have done. And I know, for instance, some critics of hers in this have used that image along with tear gas to sort of play off of her using the word tears. What have you thought about her address?
So I didn't read the entire thing, but already in terms of the tears, I can tell you that I've cried a lot too. And I'm telling you, a lot of activists on the front line who are doing a lot more than me have cried just as much. But, I think what comes to mind as you say that is when she passively watched as her father ordered federal agents to spread this tear gas in front of the Washington protesters. I think that's very, further corroborates what I'm saying about this performative allyship. You tell me that you have these tears, you tell us that you want to make these changes, but there has been no policy, nothing that's tangible that actually helps the fight that we're in right now. So how can someone come and speak at an institution about inclusion, equity, and doing something great in the world when her father's policies and her as senior advisor haven't been able to contribute towards them being able to have the same liberties that she even does? So I think that further only illustrates my point even more.
Kavya, thank you for joining us. Kavya Natason. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Interesting.
I'm going to make the Argentine.
Ow, that was loud. So yeah, that's what's going on. I mean, she made a comment in regards to that and was like, hey, she literally is blaming cancel culture for her not being able to do a commencement speech. Tom, what do you think?
The hell was she ever doing as a commencement speaker in the first place?
That's my question, bruh. That's what I'd like to know.
I mean, this is Wichita, was it Wichita State University? Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean,
if I'm correct, yeah.
Yeah, their technical school. I mean, if I graduate from college and the best they have to offer for me as a commencement speaker is Ivanka Trump, that asks for maybe a couple semesters of tuition money back. I mean, what the hell could she have? What kind of life advice could she offer recent graduates from college? Hey, go find a billionaire father whose legacy you can skate on for the rest of your life. I mean, what's she really done? She's got her jewelry line that's like a glorified Etsy store with the cachet of having the Trump name behind it. Well, what the hell's she done?
Yeah.
This is just nepotism. It's all it is. She has zero business having any of the positions Trump's given her in the White House. She's an absolute joke. What the hell what is she doing at a commencement speech? She hasn't accomplished anything except riding the coattails of her scumbag father. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's interesting, like I said, it's interesting that that's what happens. And what that girl said later on in that interview, the fact that she stood by and and was okay with the people being shot, those protesters being shot with tear gas, shot with rubber bullets, just so he could cross the street to go and take a photo with a Bible that he's never held in his whole entire life in front of a church that he's only gone into maybe once or twice in his entire term as president, says something too. I don't care how manufactured and how primmed and put together she is. She's still behind a president that's terrible.
Yep.
And yes, I get it. It's her father and all that and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, okay, so maybe it was Jim on Facebook saying no tear gas was used, but they were using excessive force. Let's just say that. Let's boil it all the way down. They were using excessive force. If they weren't using tear gas, they were using other means of getting Trump over there, which is there's no reason for those things. No reason. He could have waited. And she was right there next to him, walking across that grassy knoll to get a photo in front of that. And that just says a lot of things about who she is and what she stands for. And that's not the right time to do any commencement speeches. I don't think she's being canceled. I think it's just more of a situation of if she was to go and speak at that place, she represents something. She's behind somebody. She represents somebody that is not for the movement at all. And there's a lot of people out here that are for the movement, that are graduating college, that probably don't want to hear her speak. Or they're just trying to avoid some sort of uproar during a graduation. That's not a good idea. They're not trying to trigger people, So I don't think she's getting canceled. I think that they're just playing it right.
Yeah, I would love to know what she'd have to say to recent college grad. What advice could she give out that would not ring hollow?
It's a very good question. It's like
it's bizarre to me that she was ever even invited in the first place.
It's like go and go have be born with a silver spoon in your mouth with a multi-millionaire as a dad. Oh, you don't have that? Okay. Then I can't help you.
I mean, if I want to hear any of Trump's kids speak at a commencement address, I think it would be Tiffany Trump.
Yeah.
That would be the one that isn't a total mindless suck up to her father. You know, I mean, that's who I want to hear from, is someone who's actually got a brain on their head, whose goal in life isn't to secure the bag by sucking up to Donald Trump every day of his life, like Ivanka and Don Jr. and Eric. I want to hear from Tiffany Trump, who, as we were talking about a few days ago, turned her Twitter profile picture black in support of Black Lives Matter, and seems to have very different political, philosophical views from her father. We never hear from her, though. Apparently she doesn't hear from Donald all that often either. They have a strained relationship.
Yeah, and what's funny to me, I never heard about that. I never heard about her, Tiffany Trump, doing that. But that's the thing. She's probably the black sheep of the family. Most definitely. She's probably the one going, I see you, Dad. I see who you are, Just a theory. What were we going to say, Tom?
Well, we've seen this so many times before, where Trump will have like the people around him sing his praises for him before like they start the meeting. He loves having his ego stroked.
Oh yeah.
So I want to hear from the kid that's not out there constantly stroking his ego and trying to get on his good side. I want to hear from Tiffany Trump.
Yeah.
If I'm going to hear from any of them, which I don't want to hear from any of them at my commencement address, I want to hear from somebody that's actually done something with their lives other than, just be born into a rich family.
Right.
But,
yeah. It's it's very, that family is a very confusing family all in all. You know what I mean? What else is there?
We've got Confederate monuments are coming down around the South, and Christopher Columbus's statue was torn down.
Yes, let's talk about that really quick. Sorry, I got a little distracted for a second there. Yes, Christopher Columbus's statue has been torn down and thrown into a lake. What the heck is going on? Let's talk about that.
Yes, I guess this was in Richmond, Virginia. The Christopher Columbus statue located at Bird Park. It was spray painted and lit on fire, I think, at one point.
Unbelievable.
And torn up and thrown into Fountain Lake. I guess it's been pulled out of the lake at this point. But this kind of follows a wider trend of statues, monuments honoring people who maybe in the light of day weren't such great people. Certainly a lot of these Confederate soldiers, a lot of states are taking out Confederate statues, but it's Christopher Columbus one in Virginia also getting thrown out. And for those of you who don't know, obviously Christopher Columbus in recent years, a lot of people
sailed the seven seas.
Yeah. But, a lot has come out about Christopher Columbus in the last, I don't know how many years, about what a brutal person he was.
Yes.
So it's interesting to see kind of I don't know about everybody else, but I grew up thinking, Christopher Columbus was this nice explorer who discovered America. And, you don't hear about the fact that he was like feeding Native Americans to his dogs and chopping off their noses and ears and hands and stuff like that for minor infractions and forcing them to go get him gold. And if they didn't bring back enough gold for him, he'd maim them. So yeah, it's interesting to see kind of the pillars of white hegemony starting to come down.
Yeah.
In areas.
And it's funny how they're, like, for example, Mr. Super just said Christopher Columbus didn't even discover America first. And that's true, too.
Oh.
And it's like all these things that have been, that we put Christopher Columbus, we put him on this pedestal. And if he's done all these terrible things, then why have a statue of a man who did terrible things? Just like a lot of those Confederate statues that are out there. Why are those and that why are those statues out there? But then, of course, there are a lot of people that feel like, those guys were a part of history and they should not be taken down or not be taken away. So, the question is something I'd like to leave out to you guys. What are your thoughts? Do you think that just because if they were part of history, do they deserve to be taken down? If they were a Confederate soldier, a Confederate leader, if they were somebody, somebody like Christopher Columbus that had his story is very tarnished and very messed up, do they deserve, do those statues deserve to be taken down? I leave that question up to you guys for sure, because it's really bad. All those things are bad. Let's see what else. Sorry, the statue of the guy in the UK is terrible.
Oh, they're talking about
I'm just looking up.
I believe, slave trader.
Yeah, the slave trader that was taken down too.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was taken down just recently as well. Nako88, what's up? Good evening. He's watching from UK. Thank you so much for watching from the UK. You know what I'm saying? But man, people are going in right now. A lot of those Confederate statues were put up during the Civil Rights Movement, so they should be taken down. Absolutely. I agree with that, Michelle. Thank you so much, Michelle, for commenting. Alex Jones, we just dumped a slave trader statue into the Bristol Harbor, some guy named Edward Colston. So that's the guy. Yes. And I personally think, yes, take them all down. If times are changing, the world is different now. We don't need to have those statues up anymore. If they represent a past that has nothing to do with us, that has everything to do with a time that was terrible and unjust, take them down. Absolutely. 110% take them down. There's no reason to keep those things up. You know what I mean? Wow. There are John Harrison all the way from why am I forgetting where he came in from? Starts with Malaysia. Sorry. I was like, it starts with an M. All the way from Malaysia said, there are buildings all over Bristol named after him. Google him. Yeah, I'm gonna look him up for real. You know what I mean? Gary says, yeah, take him down, and that's real, Also, military bases are finally considering changing Confederate names. Absolutely. Michelle, thank you for telling me that, and putting that into it. Yes, that's the thing. There's a lot of those things, like a lot of these names, a lot of the statues, all that stuff. Yeah, these names should be changed. They do not represent the America or the world that we live in now. They represent a time that was standing for something completely different. Yeah. Obviously, our world is completely different and much more integrated now. So go ahead.
The thing with Christopher Columbus, too, I mean, I think in a lot of these situations, you look back and say, well, Christopher Columbus was probably just acting in the way that most people acted in his time, that he was a product of his time, and that's why he led in such a cruel way. That's not the case. Many other members of his expedition or colony that he had set up were very critical of the way he brutally treated Native Americans. It was not, it was uncool even at the time. In fact, he and his two brothers spent some time in jail back in Spain for the atrocities they committed. Eventually they were pardoned by Francis and Isabella, but even for the time, people were like, this guy is a psychopath. Like he's cutting off people's noses and ears and hands and cutting out people's tongues and selling them into slavery and feeding like Native American children to his dogs in front of their parents. I mean, he was an absolutely brutal psychopath.
I didn't even know that.
As were his two brothers.
I didn't even know that, bruh.
Even for his time, And there are written documentation on this, even for his time in the 15th century.
Whoa.
Other 15th century Spaniards and other people that, went on the expedition to the Americas. I read he's Italian, but working on behalf of Spain. But even people that were part of his expedition, when they were interviewed about him back in the 15th century, like, this guy is crazy.
Wow.
I mean, there are many documented instances of him being just a brutal man.
I've heard little bits, but I never knew that he did that kind of crazy stuff. Like, I didn't know that to the extent. That is some crazy. But see, that's the thing. That happened so, like, hundreds of years ago. How did they have that information? Where did they have that information? You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy that happened.
I do think a lot of
hundreds of years ago, and now this stuff is coming out now? Like, where was it before?
I think in the case of Christopher Columbus, it's that there was a journal that was, like, kind of stowed away in Spain that had kind of documented his list of atrocities. And I think it was only in the last 100 years or so that was kind of rediscovered. I could be wrong on that, but nonetheless, we know what we know now about Christopher Columbus and the fact that he did not discover America.
Yeah.
The Native Americans discovered America, and then the Vikings kind of popped over for a bit, and then Christopher Columbus came. And as far as I know, I mean, he didn't really spend any time in the United States proper. He was more in the Caribbean. Why the hell do we have statues of him up here anyway?
Right. Wow. That's interesting. That's really, really interesting,
And these, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people saying, oh, you're erasing Southern history and by removing these Confederate statues. But as you said, these were largely put up during the Civil Rights Movement as kind of a thumb in your eye to people wanting equality for black people.
Yeah.
And God, I don't know about you. I still remember being taught in social studies class when I was a kid that the Civil War was about states' rights. You hear that argument so often.
That's funny.
The Civil War wasn't about slavery; it was about states' rights.
I learned it about slavery.
I decided to educate myself on that further.
Yeah, that's funny because I learned that it was about I learned that it was about slavery. Like I learned that it was the split between North and South because of slavery. But that's interesting.
It was. If you read
obviously.
I mean, there's documentation. If you read the secession letters from all of the southern states, slavery is mentioned in the first paragraph in almost all of them. And in the ones where it's not, it's mentioned in the second paragraph.
Yeah.
It might have been about states' rights, but it was about the states' rights to continue slavery. So.
Yeah. That's
crazy. It's good to see these things coming down. I mean, I realize it's a lot of CYA time in the South, cover your ass.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people being like, hey, we better get these things taken down before people start rallying around them. And
that could be it too.
Fires.
That could be it too.
Whatever takes them down, whatever gets them out of there, and whatever can end this myth that somehow the Confederacy should be in any way glorified. I'm glad to see that kind of hopefully being taken down.
Yeah. I mean, it is it's definitely, as Nikki said on here, it's definitely a good start. It's definitely a start towards something better, and towards a different country, towards a different world. Now that is happening in the UK, it's happening in America. Like I said, I think slowly but surely things are going to start changing for the better. We just have to, like I said, just wait and see. But anyway, we got to wrap it up because we went through so much. Holy cow. Literally, we went through everything except one thing on the show, which I want to talk about, but I'm going to hold that one out for tonight's show for sure. So, Tom, again, thank you so much for being on today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you got time to come onto the show tonight, at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, it'd be great to have you on if you got time.
All right. Well, we will see.
Yeah. No pressure. You don't have to answer right now, but I'm just gonna. Will you go out with me? Check yes, no, or maybe. I'll just let you sit on that and ponder it for a little while. Anyway, so big thank you to everybody who tuned in today. I really, really appreciate you guys all being on the show, commenting, being a part of it. No one called though, which is a little frustrating, but at the same time, it is all good. The phone lines will be open tonight, later on tonight for sure at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So don't be shy. Be a part of the show tonight. We will be talking about some other things. Of course, there's one thing that we're going to be talking about, which is the Mark Wahlberg situation. There's some things that have happened in his past that are starting to resurface. They've been resurfaced, but now they're starting to be put out there even more because of the whole Black Lives Matter movement, everything like that. The wave of the Black Lives Matter movement. He's getting kind of caught up in the wake of this whole thing. And the main question is, should we give Mark Wahlberg a pass or no? So we're going to be talking about that tonight and going into deep detail in regards to what's going on with all of that. So definitely tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, because we will talk about that all day long. Anyway, and hopefully Tom will be a part of it, because it would be great to have somebody else to bounce off of this conversation. And of course, there's going to be more conversations that we're going to be having tonight as well. I held, like I said, last night, I didn't do a big show. I just kind of did a quick one where I just talked to everybody, solely because I was like, there's so much to talk about. And I was like, I need to have Tom and Jack on here to talk about this, bounce these discussions off with them, because I can't do these certain particular comments and situations and news topics alone, especially some of these, like, the J.K. Rowling one, the Nancy Pelosi one. Like, there were so many of them where I'm like, nah, I can't. I got to sit back. And wait for tomorrow morning, because this is too juicy not to talk about. And of course, shout out to Jack. He wasn't able to be on the show today, but we miss you. Hopefully he'll be back on tomorrow morning. But yeah, if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. All right. Also hit that notification bell and hit that all on the notification bell, so that when we go live every single time. And like I said, if you can share, let people know about this show. That would really, really mean a lot. We are the Pascal Show, trying to get as much conversation and as much information as we can out there to talk about and fight, agree, disagree, the whole nine, cry, laugh, everything right here on this show. Anyway, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button underneath, and hit that notification bell. We got to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Sex, money, power, respect. All of us in this community. All the good people different to me.
Take up in glass.
The festival's crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their seconds. Their lives are unique. All of us under surveillance. We wasn't feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that. So what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now. Thanks.
the Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're gonna perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.